Right, I think we're back on air. So good afternoon for the final game in this three-match series, delicately poised at one game all at the moment after a fairly solid Jersey win in game two, avenging a very impressive performance by Guernsey last evening. So we're 1-1 going into the decider for the T20 Inter Insular Trophy. We're back to proper 20 overs per side game here this afternoon, and the news from the middle is that Jersey have won the toss and perhaps somewhat surprisingly decided to bat first in this game, bearing in mind it's been the side batting first that's won both of the two games played so far. But I think my little bit of inside information suggests, well, a couple of things. I think Guernsey had a bit of a tough time in the field there in that last innings, so Jersey winning the toss have consigned them to another spell of fielding. And I think the other thing is that we're now playing on a pitch that's being used for the third time, and there's just the odd sign that the occasional ball's doing a little bit of mischief. So I think the Jersey take on that is that if they can bat reasonably well first up and get a good score, we'll be estimating what that is as we see how the wicket plays. Then with their bowling and fielding firepower, they might be able to defend it. Having said all that, we've been very impressed with the Guernsey fielding and bowling all the way through, a well-drilled unit. Anyway, umpires are on their way out. The Jersey opening pair haven't changed. It's Carlisle and Greenwood. The team news is that for Jersey, Theo Pullman makes his Inter Insular T20 debut. So congratulations to him. He replaces the bowler and the other debutant, Van Breda. So Theo Pullman in, and for Guernsey, it looks to me to be exactly the same team that played in the previous game. So no huge surprises. Anyway, I've got a well-known local Jersey cricketing expert and great fan of the game, Jimmy Persard, alongside me. So welcome along, Jim.
Hello, Wad, and hello, everybody.
We had 1,600 viewers yesterday afternoon, apparently.
Wow.
And that was on a Friday afternoon. So we'll find out in due course how many we've got today.
Well, it's a little bit spicy now. It's 1-1, and this is the final. So it's a nice place to be for both sides. They've got an opportunity to take the trophy. And it's not always like that in a tri-series, of course.
No, it hasn't been historically. I think it was last year that in the dead rubber in the final game, Guernsey actually got their first win for some considerable time. But this Guernsey team definitely marked signs of improvement, and I think they've really performed extremely well in this series so far to date. Anyway, we shall see how we get on. It's Harry Johnson, fresh from his spell of revision this morning. He's coming in from the pavilion end. And we've got Harrison Carlisle on strike. He'll be hoping to do a little bit better than things worked out for him personally in the previous match. So here we go. First ball, Harry Johnson. And Harry's pulled that out to mid-wicket, just a single. It'd be interesting to see how this pitch plays now, Jim. You've been out there and been assisting a little bit, I believe.
Yep.
What's your views on the wicket so far?
It's taken a little bit of rain, and it was dry actually. The little bit of rain may have helped it zip on a bit. It's certainly not soft. The grass on top is a little bit damp, so the ball is zipping on. There, he comes in. The ball is not taking any divots out.
No.
So it's just a little bit greasy on top.
But I totally agree with you. That's what I was saying on the commentary yesterday, was that that little bit of rain on the wicket actually just gave it a little bit of extra zip, which actually is better for batting on. You can trust the bounce of the ball when you know what's going to happen. Anyway, this is the third game on this track, so we might expect things to start to happen a little bit. That's obviously what Jersey think anyway, because they've taken the view that batting first, scoreboard pressure is going to pay dividends. Sure. But first few deliveries from Harry Johnson, he's done all right here. There's been a bit of swinging and missing.
We were talking just a moment ago about what par is now. I was saying 140.
I was thinking that, to be totally honest with you, but I was going to wait before I committed just to see the first few overs, because once the pitch has been rolled and cleaned up, it does change its nature slightly, and you can tell by how confidently your opening batsmen are actually striking the ball and how well they're timing it. It gives you a pretty good idea of what sort of total you might realistically be targeting.
Nice.
That's come off the bat nicely from Harrison Carlyle. No run, but that's the first one that's been sort of middled, if you like. But I would tend to think, from the way that the game has gone so far over the last couple of days, unless there is a marked change in the wicket, that really sort of a run a ball plus a bit, 140 is probably sort of par.
But anything above that will be quite difficult to defend, I would think. He's nicked it. He's gone again.
He's gone again.
He's not had a great weekend.
Harrison Carlyle has decided to really take the bowling on there, and he's charged down the wicket, and he's got a fairly substantial outside edge, and nicely picked up by Zach Samuerauer off the bowling of Harry Johnson. And we're on the replay there. You can see Carlyle going right down the track and really having a big swing. And Samuerauer's happy with that dismissal.
Yeah, he's not had a good weekend, Harry. He's a fine player, as we all know, and that's a big scalp for the Guernsey lads. Because when Harrison gets going, he's quite a dynamic player.
Yeah, we've seen him perform extremely well, so just not his day today. But gives a little bit more time at the crease to Asa Tribe, who similarly has played some spectacular innings this season already. So,
but of course, if it's not Asa, it's Zach. But Asa's at Glamorgan.
Well, I meant Zach.
Of course you did. I know it. Asa was playing in this fixture last year, of course, Ward, in Guernsey.
Yeah, that's right. I remember we watched those games.
Yeah.
So young Harry Johnson with a wicket in his first over, and a good start from him. And that's a cracking delivery first up as well. That's beaten Zach Tribe with one that's just held its line, perhaps. It's gone over the top of off stump, but a great start for Harry Johnson and Guernsey. Just 2 runs from that over.
He's a good prospect, isn't he? He's going to serve Guernsey well over the next probably decade. He's a young man.
Well, they've got a couple as well, because the other one's young Charlie Forshaw, who I've batted against myself, and saw him play at Lord's earlier on in the season.
Yep.
And he's studying for exams at the moment, so best of luck, Charlie, on that one, as everyone else who's doing those exams. But he's a promising opening bowler for Guernsey as well. So, and we've got Luke Bishard. Now, he's a very steady performer, and also played in that game at Lord's, of course,
Marvellous.
Earlier in the year, which is a great accolade for these guys. He's bowled well, Luke Bishard. So, Guernsey, good start.
Greenwood on strike, and I wonder if he can repeat his efforts from the... Oh, jeepers creepers. He can't.
Wow.
He can't.
This is not the start that Jersey were hoping for, having won the toss and elected to bat. 2 wickets down, 2 runs on the board. And the classy Nick Greenwood departs first... Yeah. Early doors. Not a great start. So there you go. It's a full-length ball from Bishard. Good delivery. He's just yorked him there. I think he might have got a little bit of an inside edge, but either way, his furniture has been rearranged.
Yeah, that is a big wicket. So both Jersey openers gone. That is huge. Now, John T. Jenner often comes to the party during these Inter Insulars. I remember last year, the 50-over Inter Insular, he scored a magnificent 100 with Zach Tribe, who ended up just short of 100. So they put on a partnership of over 200, and they're batting together now.
Oh, and they're not batting together anymore. That's another super delivery from Bishard, and Guernsey are understandably cock-a-hoop.
Wow. That is 2 for 3 or 3 for 2. Depends whether you're Australian, but that is knocked the stuffing out of Jersey's top order.
Yeah, there's no question that he edged that. They'll telltale sign as soon as you played the shot, you're looking round to see if the catch is going to be taken. And sure enough, Zach Samuerauer snapped that one up as well. So Luke Bishard on a hat-trick in an Inter Insular. Jersey, 2 wickets for 3 runs.
So Julius Samuerauer, he had a great ECL. Anybody who knows about European cricket, the European Cricket League, Julius Samuerauer was man of the series in the finals. Bowled very well, but he was quite majestic the way he batted. Need that performance.
He did that, not only in the European cricket stuff, but also in the Western Shield, where he was also player of the series. I think he's picked up 3 players of the series already this season. But that's slightly different. That was on a mat. Now we're on the grass, and now Jersey had 2 for 3. So what can he do today? Hat-trick ball. Ooh. And some real excitement there. Sniff of an LBW appeal, but I think it was muted. I'm guessing that he probably got an inside edge there. But good delivery again from Bishard. This is going to be an uphill struggle for Jersey now. I think
it is. Yep.
We might have spoken too early about that 140, Jim.
Yep. They do bat deep, but you will need the middle and late order to perform now if we're going to get there.
It's another cracking delivery from Bishard. What an over this has been. 2 wickets, 2 dot balls, and they've not been far from wickets themselves. And Julius, I don't know if he's the person who'd necessarily have to dig you out of a hole. I mean, he's a spectacular hitter when things are going his way, but he's got a different job to do here. And Bishard gets a bit unlucky there. He's found a thick outside edge, which has beaten the third man fielder and run away to the boundary for 4 runs. Much needed for Jersey and unfortunate for Bishard, perhaps.
It's a strange old game, isn't it? It's the same pitch that we were playing on an hour ago, and they're struggling to get bat on ball here. It's
difficult to remember one real clean hit, apart from that one from Carlisle, I think, that didn't score a run. But
nice into mid-wicket there for a couple, just a single.
Fine over from Bishard. He'll be happy. Guernsey will be absolutely in raptures at the moment. Jersey 7 for 3 from 2 overs. Looks like they're going to give Harry Johnson another over, which I'm not surprised about, given the circumstances.
It's a tricky position for Jersey now. Do they stick or twist? Do they, the plan would have been to be positive up front in the power play. 3 down. What do you do?
Yeah, I agree. I think the way this Jersey team plays, they probably won't. They'll probably play exactly the same.
Well, I think Julius probably will, but Zach may be looking to. Zach may be looking to bat longer. Julius, I think he's better being positive.
Yeah, I think it's the only way he plays, really. Yeah. And he's tried to pick that one up. He's not been far from the deep mid-wicket fielder. Guernsey have got 2 men out on the bank.
Yeah.
There, which is sensible because with the wind strengthening as it has done, that's going to be the relatively easy place to hit boundaries. Harry Johnson in again. Ooh.
Interesting.
A little bit of a nip backer. Zach tried prodding the pitch. There's a little bit of suspicion from Jersey, but you may well be tempted to do that with the score as 8 for 3. You might be looking for excuses. And again, a short ball. Tribe's eyes lit up, but failed to make contact. Again, just not quite coming through as it was earlier on. I think I don't know. Maybe
how can the pitch change so dramatically? It's had the light roller on. Momentum's a hell of a thing in sport, and Guernsey are obviously have a wonderful momentum at the moment. They're buzzing. They're quite noisy in the field. You can feel the atmosphere, and Jersey are being a little bit timid, naturally.
But saying that, we're now nearly through 3 overs, and I'm struggling to think of one real confident strike of the ball, even in the defensive shot. Well, no, there was the Harry Carlyle one.
Yeah.
But it suggests to me, what I'm thinking, Jim, is that the pitch may have started to dry out a little bit. And once you've lost that bit of moisture, which was providing that zip, that was what made it a little bit easier.
And of course, it's a new ball, and these white balls have got a seam, as every cricket ball has. But when they're new, the seam is more pronounced, and maybe they're just hitting that seam and getting a little bit of movement.
Anyway. That's another fantastic over from young Harry Johnson. He's only conceded 2 runs off that over. And Jersey in the power play, a 9 for 3 from 3 overs. Really is a big hole to get out of here.
Were you surprised Jersey won the toss, decided to bat first?
Well, I was, to be totally honest with you. And now I've got a little bit of inside track, and I kind of understand the reasons why. I think, as I mentioned on air just before you joined us, Jim, that it was felt that Guernsey had quite a rough slog in. I mean, they only played 13 overs, of course. Anyway, it's Persard on. Another good ball, no run. Guernsey had a bit of a slog in the field at 13 overs. Things didn't really go their way, and I think the idea was, from Jersey's perspective, that
just keep the
they
pressure
sort of keep the pressure on, but it certainly hasn't worked that way.
Well, it hasn't at the moment. I don't. This tri-series has been going on for how many years? Do you reckon? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
This is Jersey have won every one.
Yeah.
And they've got to have a real challenge on now to continue that winning streak.
Yeah.
I still think par is 140.
Well, I think it should be, but
Lovely.
Samuerauer's gone down the track there and
Through extra cover, a lovely shot.
He's hit that beautifully, actually.
Yep.
That's a good shot.
Yep.
And Jersey make the boundary for the first time. In
All
the fourth
along
over.
the ground. Perhaps Julius may just turn up for this game. He was wonderful for Farmers in the ECL. He was a prolific striker. He's man of the series, and maybe he can just turn it on for Jersey now.
It's the sort of trademark Samuerauer shot, but into the wind out towards the tennis court side of this Granville pitch. And he's only got the single there. There's a man out for him at deep square leg, so just the one.
I've been little bit involved with helping as best I can Dan Burrell and Peter Goff today, who have been up against the elements, and a groundsman's job is pretty tough. These guys really were in the dirt this morning at 6:30, 7 o'clock, trying to dry out the pitch because there was a heavy rain last night. That water went under the covers, and soaked a length down the far end from us, and the popping crease was sort of greasy, and they had heaters under there, and they were drying it out whilst it was raining on top of the covers. They really have been fantastic.
Yeah,
and a credit to Jersey cricket.
Yeah, I did mention that earlier on in the commentary. I saw a little video clip of them in the middle of very early this morning with their electrical appliances trying to dry everything out. I mean, a fantastic effort from them.
They really did go over and above. And it's important for both these sides that they get some cricket in before the World Cup qualifiers in Holland, which is just next month.
Yeah, that's right. It adds a little bit of extra context to these games, and whoever does come out top of this tri-series is going to be feeling quite buoyant about prospects in the Netherlands. So it just adds a bit of extra spice, if you like, to what's an important series anyway.
It is.
It's Harry Johnson carrying on there. He's bowling his third over. He's got his line slightly wrong there, but I think that'll be regarded as a bit of a missed opportunity from Julius, because it was a real opportunity to smash that behind square on the leg side for 4 or even 6, the way Julius hits the ball, and he's missed that. He gets the wide, he'll get another chance, but maybe a slight missed opportunity. Yeah, now that died completely, didn't it, that delivery?
It was also another wide outside the off stump this time, and
but there was no bounce at all.
The water has crept in under the side that covers.
Yeah.
It's not an easy pitch to bat on. Maybe 140 is optimistic.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I mean, I know it's very easy to be wise after the event.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't jump in the first over, Jim.
No,
but and when you're 2 for 3,
it
does make it rather easy to change your assumptions. But I just think it looks tricky to bat.
Ooh.
See again he's tried to.
That just didn't.
Everything.
Just a little short of a length. He went for the hook and it just didn't arrive. It sort of stuck in the pitch a little bit. For the first time today, there are shadows on the field.
I noticed that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So we're going to get a bright evening, I understand.
Is it going to be bright for Guernsey though, Jim?
Well, we don't know about that, but this game will conclude.
Yeah, we're going to get a proper game in here. And this time, Samuerauer really has got hold of that. That's the biggest 6 of the weekend. He's
Yeah.
dropped that in short, and Julius has picked that up and hit it right to the very top of the bank.
I think that went through the rugby
car
post.
park.
I think that's 3 points. That's what Samuerauer can do. If you can get 6 or 7 overs of Julius Samuerauer, the scoreboard will flash on. He is a big hitter. But whether we can get 6 or 7 overs of him, whether Jersey can, whether he can stay there.
Yeah. He's waiting for that slightly short ball
In the gap.
and that was short. He didn't quite get hold of it as cleanly, but he's managed to reach the boundary. So that's 10 off 2 balls, which in the context of the Jersey innings is something of a recovery. But a long way for Jersey to go here. Now, what's Harry Johnson got? He's bowled a couple of wides in this over and that huge 6.
Oh, that
Could have been a wide as well, I
Yeah,
think. But
he had a stretch for that one.
yeah, he stretched out and taking the single.
Up in the
Now
air.
that's
He's gone.
Yeah, well, that was quite clever batting from Zach Tribe. Really, he at one moment it was a bit heart in your mouth stuff. You thought that might have been taken on the square leg boundary. And that's Josh Butler. He took that amazing catch in the previous game.
Wasn't it a terrific
It
catch?
was a
I
superb
was
catch.
standing next to him. It was catch of
But
the
anyway,
day.
here we go with the replay. But what you see Zach Tribe's done here is he's picked the right spot of the ground with this strengthening wind. He's just picked it up and used the strength of the wind as well as some very nice timing as well to clear that square leg boundary. So that's a big over for Jersey. A couple of 6s and a boundary, 4, couple of wides, and
Perhaps 1 over too many for Harry Johnson.
well,
It-
easy to say after the event. And he bowled beautifully his first
of
2
course.
overs.
Yeah, I get it, but you have to mix it up. You have to mix it up. If he's bowling well, he'll bowl well later. It's 3 overs are bowled 3 consecutive overs in
Yeah.
T20.
It was quite
is
unusual.
rare.
It is
Yeah.
unusual. But
Yeah.
there again, we've got
Persard
Persard
again.
doing the same at the other end. And this time, he's gone against the wind. He's hit it so high, but
1 hand, 1 bounce.
it's gone so high that you'd have thought the fielder would have had a chance to get underneath it. But it's a big hole in that leg side, and there's no way that the fielder could make all that ground. So maybe Samuerauer got away with that one. I personally, that was Tom Nightingale, who's Guernsey's best fielder. Out of some very good fielding all round by Guernsey, I should add, but he's probably their strongest fielder. But he wasn't going to get there. Persard's got his length spot on again there. Yeah, I don't think that 6 hitting into the tennis court end with this wind is really a viable option, to be totally honest with you.
What's that, a 70-yard boundary at mid-wicket?
Well, it's a big boundary, but the wind makes a real big difference.
It must be at least 70 yards with a strong wind.
Yeah, it is 70 yards, isn't it? You can see the 30-yard marker.
Yeah.
At least.
Bit of wood on there.
Oh, and Persard, unfortunate there. That's he's really bowled well here, and sorry, I should be going to get the ball, but I'm live on commentary. I'll leave it to the lovely Martindale Bradley. Yeah, unlucky there for Persard. He's bowled a good ball, and Samuerauer's had a bit of luck and got an inside edge that's gone through the keeper. Keeper standing up to Persard, which is perhaps a bit unusual. He's probably seen that Samuerauer is keen to use his feet and get out of his crease. So unfortunate for Persard to concede a boundary there when he's bowled so well. This wind is definitely getting up. It really does make that big leg side hit just not a good risk reward decision, I think. That's a great shot from Zach Tribe there. He's used the pace, and he has timed the ball very nicely indeed through backward point for another boundary. So Luke Bishard's had a great couple of overs there, and very unfortunate with one of those boundaries, and a good shot from Zach Tribe to finish up the over. So the Jersey mini recovery continues. However, it's been a really impressive start from the Guernsey bowling lineup, and here comes yesterday's hero. He bowled well again in the earlier match, Martin Dale Bradley. I think he's got a little bit of an injury, but he's still bowled very well indeed. Now, with this wind picking up, it's going to be interesting to see whether Samuerauer in particular, who does like that leg side boundary with the breeze, is he going to take it on? I think he probably will try to. But we shall see who comes out on top.
Just before he starts, for all the Guernsey viewers, managed to get rid of Jim Persard, but you've got the Guernsey manager now.
Quite right too. Thank goodness for that. Bradley starts with a full toss, but doesn't get completely punished, just single down the track.
Yeah, Marty's nursing a very sore right side rib area. He overextended a bit earlier on, so, but as everyone back home knows, he's a tough suffer that you're never going to get off the pitch, so he's giving it a go.
And another full bunger, which Zach Tribe manages to find the gap at mid-wicket for another boundary. Yeah, he's also, Martin Dale Bradley, he's a very pleasant chap, and one of the nicest guys in cricket. And as you say, he's not going to walk off the pitch. And he's had a great little series here so far, and that's a good ball as well. A bit of a
he's been brilliant
flipper,
since he came into the side. To be honest, only a very recent debutant, and bowling leg spin, as everyone knows, is probably the hardest craft, and he's been phenomenal since he's come into the side. As he bowls a half trucker.
Tribe missed out there because that was the unusual long hop from Martin Dale Bradley. He has bowled absolutely brilliantly, as we were saying, but that was a chance which wasn't taken. And he's back on the spot again there. Yeah, it's a good over, pretty steady over from Bradley. Just that one boundary, a couple of singles. Jersey move on to 53 after 7 overs. So we're through the power play now, and Guernsey can go for the more defensive field.
Matt Stokes into the attack now. He didn't bowl in the second game.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was Ant Stokes who bowled his slow left arm stuff. But Matt Stokes returns.
See, Adam Martel's made some friends down at Long On.
Yeah. Oh,
Shot.
that's a really classy shot from Samuerauer for once favouring the offside. We know what he's like on the leg side, but he's used that brisk breeze, but middled it as well. Suddenly the Jersey batsman seemed finding the middle of the bat where there was a real struggle that first 4 or 5 overs. How can Stokes respond?
By bowling him. Superb.
Cracking delivery, a little bit of a nip backer. It's come between bat and pad. Might have been a slight inside edge, but either way it's taken the leg stump bail off, and Samuerauer's impressive counter-attack has come to an end.
It was going to take something special to get rid of him, the way he was shaping up there, but that was...
looked a cracking delivery, didn't it?
Beauty, wasn't it?
So Jersey lose their 4th wicket in just the 7th over. Here we go. We're going to see here the ball nip back. Well, you won't be able to tell that from here, but it does. You can take my word for it. Maybe a slight inside edge, but either way, it's gone through that bat and pad, and cracking delivery. Left-hander Charlie Brennan comes in with his side still in a bit of a crisis.
Last time I saw Charlie Brennan bat before yesterday was at Lord's when he scored 100.
Yeah, that was quite impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was...
I watched him play a couple of times this year, and he seemed to be really struggling. But the thing with Charlie is, maybe like a lot of left-handers, I don't know whether it's true or just a myth, but he can scratch around a bit, and then suddenly he'll hit one out the middle, and then after that, it's almost as if he can time anything. And I saw that innings at Lord's, and it really was quite breathtaking at times.
It was, as you say there, though, in terms of the first 20 balls or so, he was very scratchy that day.
Yeah.
Just went through the gears, and it was sublime.
Anyway, Jersey still needs something from him today. He gets a good one first up as Stokes comes round the wicket to the left-hander. Brennan gets off the mark, just a single.
What do you think happens here then, Wardy, with your boys? They sit tight for a couple of overs, or...?
Well, we're sort of having this discussion with Jim, and with Julius Samuerauer that was never going to happen. He's only got one way of playing.
Yeah.
I think Zach Tribe's got a bit of a different game. He can do it one way or the other. And I think, yeah, logically from here, you're probably going to think to yourself, well, let's make sure we don't lose any more wickets and get it to over 10 or 12 and then rebuild from there. I think that's the logical way to play.
Yeah.
But people have got slightly different views on T20 cricket these days. Sometimes it's just attack all the way through, you know, the Brendan McCullum style.
Oy.
So Matt Stokes, after conceding a boundary first ball of the over to a very good shot, has come back very impressively with a wicket and just 3 more runs off the over. Bradley returns, and that wind has definitely got up.
We are on the verge of taking off here, Ward. I imagine it does look pretty bleak on the stream, but it is the brightest it's been, I think, since we arrived.
Well, we did have Jim did point out a moment ago, we actually had some shadows on the pitch, but that was about the only time in the last couple of days. It's been very disappointing. It's a great shame, really, because...
Yeah, the busiest people, I think, this weekend have been Goffey and Bizzer.
Yeah. And they have done some real sterling work,
Incredible.
which has been pointed out before. They were up
Absolutely
this morning
incredible.
with hairdryers and goodness knows what else trying to dry out the pitch. So fair
I guess
play
that
to
happens
them.
when you're 1-0 down overnight. Got to get those 2 wins in. They've been brilliant. Cricket that we both need ahead of what's coming up in a few weeks' time. So certainly much appreciated by everyone on our side.
Yeah, quite right too. And as we were saying before, it puts a different context into it, this particular series, with those really big games coming up in the Netherlands. But this is important in its own right.
Yeah.
And Guernsey got a chance to wrestle the T20 Inter Insular Trophy for, I think, the first time.
It would be. Yep. Well, last summer in the third and final one was our first T20I win against you guys.
That was the Portsmouth game, wasn't it?
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
So to follow that up yesterday was superb, but
Yeah.
a series win would obviously be another level for us.
Tribe gets himself in a nice position there, and some good running gets him 2 more risk-free runs, but hard work though.
Just that touch of width and makes all the difference.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
freebie.
good catch at extra cover. It was
Superb
well
catch.
hit, but always looked totally under control.
Bit of a freebie, bit wide, bit too full, but Ant Stokes, great reaction, great grabbing there.
Yeah.
I think he'd taken over from the captain in that fielding position 2 balls earlier, so worked a treat.
Yeah, that was. He looked very comfortable in the split second he had to take that catch, and Tribe will be disappointed with himself there. He's got himself in a good position. Dug Jersey out of a tiny bit of a hole, but the hole is opening up again. 64 for 5 now, 5 wickets down in a T20 game, and we're not even halfway through the overs, so it's going to be potentially a situation where Jersey got to bat the overs out. Paddy Googe comes in to bat at number 7. He started off pretty well yesterday, actually, Googe, so but this is not the ideal circumstances to be coming in.
Yeah, it's a good test for him. Clearly very talented, but this is a deciding game in a 3-match series. He's 64 for 5. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you've got to look at these situations positively. I think if you're in this situation and think this is a chance to really make a name for yourself, but not easy circumstances either. And it's an inter-insular game. There is pressure. People want to do well for this game and also for making a name for themselves. Guernsey in a really, really strong position here.
Pressure that we've rarely put you guys under for a number of years now, so
Bradley drops one short, but Googe can't take advantage this time. It's well fielded at mid-wicket.
last ball of Bradley's over, only 3 off it so far. Can he finish well? Well enough.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that. His Guernsey captain will be very happy with that. Takes a wicket, just concedes the 4 runs off that over. And after a couple of overs where Jersey threatened to wrestle back some kind of initiative, it really is, everything is in Guernsey's lap at this stage. 9 overs gone. Googe and Brennan, and as we're saying there, Jersey have not been in this pressurised position against Guernsey, certainly in the T20 cricket, for a number of years now, so it's uncharted territory.
And Stokes back on, or for the first time in this game anyway. Ollie rotating his bowlers.
And now
That
that's
could be
gone against the wind.
Caught at deep
and
square.
Straight into the hands of
Ben
deep
Fitchett, those trusty,
square leg.
reliable hands.
Everything working out for Guernsey, but I think that big hit to that boundary is not a good option with that wind as it is now. That really, you've got to absolutely nail that. I mean, it's a huge boundary out there. If you
Yeah.
look at where the 30-yard mark is,
It is.
it's got to be 70 yards, maybe you've 75 yards to the boundary, and that's before you take into account this strong wind. So it's just not really a viable option, I don't think.
No, it's reminiscent, ironically, of the way that Ben Fitchett got himself out yesterday, hitting, a good shot on another day, on many other ground. That's 6, but not here. I'm absolutely disgusted to see some messages on my phone doubting my comments about Ben Fitchett's safe and capable hands. I don't know what anyone's on about. Never any doubt.
I knew you were onto something when you started that. Right. Storming Norman Stanley. What can he do? Had a great season playing cricket for Cambridge University.
Played very well in the 50 over Inter Insular last year down
He
here
did
against
play
us, actually.
extremely well. I hadn't seen him do that before, and I didn't know that he could, and he really did look quite a classy act.
Oh,
But he's come in a difficult situation here, and Ant Stokes has bowled him a beauty there.
beautiful first 3 balls from Ant Stokes.
Norman gets off the mark.
Could be a nice matchup for Charlie Brennan. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to take this on. Might feel he can't.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, Charlie's natural game is to hit the ball, and he would definitely fancy that leg side boundary, but possibly not under these circumstances.
Brilliant work from Josh Butler there at deep mid wicket, stopping the 2.
Guernsey fielding has gone up such a notch since maybe the last couple of years. It really has been extremely impressive today. Looked like a very well drilled unit. Everyone knows their roles.
I think I know obviously we only sort of see you guys intermittently, but it's been it's been continual progress, I think, since Frithie and Hogues and with Ollie coming on as well. The progress has been fantastic, and it's really nice to see us doing it against you guys. Here's another test of it. Is this only one?
Yeah,
brilliant
it is.
from Tom Nightingale there.
Tom Nightingale.
Tom Nightingale at deep mid wicket that time.
A fine over from Ant Stokes, just conceding the 3 runs and taking their wicket of Paddy Googe. Jersey in all sorts of trouble.
Ollie will be pleased when he looks at who's still got overs to bowl as well. That's plenty of tricks up the sleeve still, 4 wickets to get. Change of ends for Matt Stokes.
All roads lead to Stokes at the moment. Stokes at each end.
Beautiful start. It's a bit of a wicket that Matt would love to pick up and put in his pocket and use again. To be fair, you can say that about a lot of wickets because he's so good, but conditions today certainly work well for Matt.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a class act for Guernsey for many, many years. He really has been standout player, but he's now being joined by a number of others, particularly in this format, perhaps. Well, anyway, we shall see. But he's a great cricketer.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting thing with the group. It's not as if from sort of 2.5 years ago we've all of a sudden got a different group of players. It's guys that have, really fully committed to their cricket, committed to improving, embraced everything that we've tried to change over the last couple of years, and it's the same guys. Beauty from Stokesy there.
Yeah,
it's
great
the same
bowling
guys
again.
that are that are now getting the rewards and winning the games for us, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, I follow it pretty closely, and you've had some good fixtures this season already against some of those academy sides. I mean, they certainly look good fixtures on paper anyway. I wasn't there to watch them, unfortunately. But you've got some good results, and you've got an enthusiastic side supporting each other.
Bit of a misfield for Ant Stokes there at long on. Yeah, it's become a really nice little blueprint for us for that April period to get us underway. So, had the relationship with Hampshire for a few years now, which we then built on. They've massively advocated what we do in Guernsey, the facilities we've got. So that's enabled us to have Somerset last year and then expanded that out into Surrey and Essex this year. So there's a couple of other counties keen. They hear what we can offer facilities-wise in terms of the setup, the cricket we can provide, slightly more favourable weather in theory compared to the UK at that time of the year, and it's just proven to be a really good level of cricket for us at that part of the season. That's what it's been about for a couple of years now, trying to get these guys playing more cricket, make this fixture schedule exciting for them, give them a lot of different challenges, different types of opposition. You know, still trying to make sure that we play the right European cricket T20 stuff. So we've got the Isle of Man and Switzerland in August, for example, at home. Getting more teams to come to Guernsey, which is half the battle sometimes, and it's working really, really well.
Well, it's really good to see. I mean, it's good for Guernsey cricket, but I think it's good for Channel Island cricket as well, because, you know, we want to have proper competitive games, and we're certainly seeing that at the moment. Jersey under huge amounts of pressure. And Stokes to continue.
We've got a fairly tight offside field to hunt here. Just nice from Guernsey to see a bit of aggression here with the field. And he's gone. Really nice. Amount gets down really well there. Take the caught and bowled.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a plan there with Stokes, because you've got the extra cover. It's coming extremely short. Well, maybe even a short mid-off, you'd probably call that. But in fact, the ball went back to the bowler, and a neat caught and bowled, and Stan Norman departs the scene.
Possibly just made Norman play a bit straighter.
Yeah, maybe.
Very good from Guernsey.
We just held that back a bit. Stan Norman played early.
First games today for Ant Stokes since over 2 years, actually. So really nice to have Ant back, committed to his cricket again, working hard on his cricket in the UK, and it's another really good addition to the squad. Gives us a bit more depth as well. Back in the wickets.
Well, slow left-arm bowlers worth their weight in gold, and you know, over the years the Jersey team has been so well served by the likes of Ben Stevens, obviously Nat Watkins, more recently Buster Elliott Miles, but that particular train of left-arm spinners seems to have come to a bit of an end in Jersey at the moment. And that's not far off another caught and bowled as
a lot of interest in that one.
Captain Juggy Persard comes to the wicket. Crisis time. Now what's Charlie Brennan going to do here? Still...
wow.
That's turned. Now that has turned. Now...
He's gone to play that through the offside, and it's wrapped him on the body. It's a huge turn from Stokes, and a bit of pop as well.
What I heard, that's the shot of
There's an opportunity here. That's a great catch. Luke Bishard at long on, moving round very quickly to his left, takes a great low catch, and Brennan's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was coming at some stage. Brennan was going to favour that boundary assisted by the wind, but he didn't really get hold of it, and Luke Bishard moved very smartly round. Took in the end a comfortable catch, and that's another wicket to Stokes, and Jersey are now 8 wickets down.
3 wickets and 10 balls for Ant Stokes.
What an inspired choice to get him back in the team. back in the side and bowling at this stage. Oh.
You've just realised you got the wrong Persard before, didn't you?
I did. I did. Anyway, won't get it wrong now because there's 2 Persards, and the captain does indeed come in at number 10. And really, there are very few options here for the Jersey team other than to try and bat out this remaining
50 balls. It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. I think all they can realistically aspire to, though, is trying to score 30 or 40 runs and try and bat it through. It's not going to be easy.
Who's the last one to come, Wardy? Is it Theo Pullman?
Theo Pullman on debut.
Okay.
Yeah, lovely young lad.
Also played at Lord's the day I was there, actually.
Yeah, he did, that's right.
But for the MCC, which wasn't the plan.
Yeah, I've wondered about that. That was a bit odd, actually.
I think it took him from 12th man for the ICC Europe side to on the pitch. I'm sure he'd have been...
I'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
He'd be absolutely thrilled.
Oi. Playing a miss from Chuggy.
Ant Stokes has the figures at the moment of 3 for 4. It really has been that sort of a game.
The boys were chatting before. Marty took with his 4 for yesterday was took him level with, I think, Bish and Will Peatfield on 4-fers. We haven't had a 5-fer in T20I cricket for Guernsey yet, so
Yeah.
a slight part of Ant might be hoping for a wicketless over here, and he can get a chance of that in his next one.
Yes, I'm racking my brains here. I've watched a lot of Jersey T20 cricket over the years. I'm sure there must have been a 5-wicket haul. I think maybe actually Chucky Persard took 5 wickets in a game. Maybe it was in Desert Springs, and maybe Ben Ward did something similar. But that's over quite a long period of international cricket. So, and 5-wicket hauls don't come across very frequently, do they, in T20 cricket? It's got to be a wide one.
How do you see the Jersey side looking for the tournament, Ward, in terms of who we've seen this weekend and who's out there to come in?
Well, good question. I know that Ben Ward is available for selection. He's out teaching in Cape Town at the moment and has quite a senior job and wasn't able to get released for this game. But
Fantastic
I believe he will be making the trip to the Netherlands, and he makes a big difference.
Yeah.
We've missed Don Blompier today. Now, I wouldn't put him down as as strong a leg spin bowler as Ben Ward. However, he has had quite a bit of success, and I think we've missed him this this series.
Always done very well against us.
So, and then we've got the outside chance of Asa Tribe being available. More good fielding out in the deep.
Great throw from Bishard.
But I think
is Asa almost the victim of his own success?
Exactly.
For you guys at the moment.
I mean, I think that some of us, perhaps selfishly from a Jersey perspective, were hoping he'd do all right in the red ball game, but wouldn't really feature in the white ball game for Glamorgan, and therefore would be potentially free come July time.
Because it's just the blast window, isn't it?
Yeah. And unfortunately for us, but great news for Asa, he's doing absolutely brilliantly well at the moment, having the time of his life. So I think Glamorgan are going to get first call on him.
It's a good shot.
That is a good shot. That's a good shot from Will Persard. It's not going to reach the boundary though.
Josh Butler gets around quite well there, saved a couple. Yeah, I saw Asa's first knock in the blast this year. Was he 3 sixes, I think he hit?
Yeah.
You know, big blows. Amazing to see a Channel Islander playing at that level.
I agree, absolutely incredible. Oh.
Just out of Ollie Nightingale's reach at cover, that one. squirted for a couple.
I thought for a moment he was in trouble, but it did evade him, and just another couple.
7 off the over with the wide. Got a ball to go on there, have we?
That is the sorry tale of the Jersey batting lineup. Just 2 real contributions, and Jersey just staggering towards a target of some description, but
Still 7 overs to bowl.
well, maybe, maybe not.
A little bit too wide from Ant Stokes, but it's great fielding from Adam Martel at point. Deceptively good fielder at point is Adam Martel.
Yeah,
Does a really, really good job there.
you know, I didn't expect him to be quite as athletic, and he's got a great arm on him as well.
Can't think why you mean that, Wardy.
Well, it's just slightly flatters to deceive. He really has been
With the
impressive.
barrel. No, he's very athletic in there, as you say. He's great both sides as well. A left-hander, but he's also extremely good to his right.
Well, that was eventually a slightly loose ball, a chance to punish, but not really taken full advantage of. Just a single behind square to Will Persard.
Interesting that Adam hasn't actually bowled in this game yet.
No, he hasn't, has he?
It's been...
And he's been opening the bowling. He's been taking the first over on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, obviously we went to see him for this particular game. And I guess with the way that Harry and Luke started, you weren't going to take them off, and the game's obviously played out differently. But
Yeah.
so, yeah, regular role for Adam, and he's done that. You know, bowling power play overs as a left arm spinner's no mean task. He's done it really, really well for us for a period of time now. Quicker one from Ant Stokes there, banged in, but straight to Ben Fitchett at deep square. Just a single. 5 off that.
Yeah, it's all very much under control from a Guernsey perspective. Jimmy getting very excited on the boundary.
Ooh, fight, fight, fight. I'll see if he wants to take us up on that later. He's another man who did a great job overnight. Helping out down here overnight and into this morning to get games on.
Yes, there's no denying Jimmy's passion for cricket or his passion generally.
I've just realised he's with Reece Palmer, so it makes a bit more sense now. Reece a bit quiet so far.
So Luke Bishard returns.
Yeah, interesting move this, because this will be his... I like this, sort of trying to take those last 2 wickets rather than maybe leave him till later like you would if maybe Jersey weren't 8 down.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Good move.
good option.
Yeah.
Good option. You're not really going to lose anything, are you? Because,
No.
I mean, he either gets the wickets and Jersey are all out, or if he doesn't, they're not going to get many runs off him.
That's right.
And then you've got someone else to bowl who would have to bowl anyway, so... I can't really see either of the Pershards or Theo Pullman taking your number 5 bowler, for example, for 25 off and over, so I don't think you need to worry about that.
I hope not. That's a
It's a
beauty from Bish.
great ball from Bishard, just held its line.
It's amazing to think at the tender age he is that he's Guernsey's leading T20I wicket taker. It just shows how well he's done since he's come into the side.
Yeah, that's impressive.
The boy can bat as well these days. Hopefully we can find that out, or you can find that out another weekend, Wardy. But all-round cricketer now, great in the field as you've seen this weekend.
And a lovely lad as well. I think
Yeah,
that's
lovely
fair to
lad.
say.
His work ethic is phenomenal and great part of the squad.
Well, Jimmy shouts out from the sideline, but his advice is really the only thing that Jersey can do from here is to try to bat these remaining 5 or so overs and take whatever they can. What's that? So 30 deliveries, maybe get 25 runs, and then just set some sort of a target which might conceivably be defendable.
Ready to go again. Well bowled from Bish. Nailed the Yorker. Well played by Persard. I can see why our boat back was cancelled. My word. Harry Johnson into the game at third man. Pick up and throw. Wakes him up.
Yeah, it's great about that boat. I mean, obviously not sailing tonight, which we're not surprised about, but I think that's
Thankfully.
Hopefully it's going to be really good news for both islands and a chance to get across to Guernsey to see some friends and a spot of lunch sometime.
Well, you know how beautiful it is, Ward. You even chose to have your son on our fair island. Great decision.
That's a good shot. But just a single, but a nice shot from Will Persard there. And Jersey limp through another over. 90 runs from 90 for 8. 5 overs to go. Yes, but so you're not on the boat back tomorrow though, are you?
No, so they also cancelled all of the sailings tomorrow until the late evening one. So
okay.
As much as a few of the boys were quite happy to go back late tomorrow, I think the ones with wives and children, we've got to get back ASAP. So we're on the plane at 8:20, which, depending on how this result goes, might be a roll straight from town up to the airport.
That old trick.
Lovely problem to have. If that's what happens, we'll have had a good afternoon and a good evening.
Fair play. So Adam Martell is going to get a bowl. Comes on in the 16th over as opposed to the first over. Two is the call.
It's made Josh Butler do some work. Oh, that's superb from Josh Butler at deep cover.
He's had a good day in the field, along with pretty much the whole of the Guernsey fielding unit, to be fair.
Brilliant work. Diving, full stretch, one-handed, flicks it back in, saves 2. What about that catch earlier, Ward?
Well, I was on commentary, and I think you'll find I gave him all the credit that was due. It was an amazing catch.
He had the nerve earlier to, when asked if he'd ever taken a better one, to say plenty. I'd love to have seen one of them. It was phenomenal.
That was a great catch.
Nice and tidy from Martel. Partnership of 18 here for this wicket for Jersey. Valuable runs.
Well, possibly. It's all they can do under these circumstances. Guernsey have just been so strong and put the Jersey batsmen under such pressure that this is all that these two can do. Someone's commented to me that we've got two Persards batting out in the middle and another Persard with his eyes shut on the boundary.
More work for Josh Butler to do at deep cover. Gets round well again. Couple more though. Bit too much width from Martel, I think. Oh, big turn.
That did turn. So, what I haven't told you, Rob, is that I did question Jersey's decision to bat first in this game, but the inside information that I got was that it was felt that Ant Stokes in the previous game bowled a couple of deliveries that really spat out of this wicket. And the third game, I think that the thought process was, and it does make a certain amount of logical sense, that if Jersey could have got a decent total, by which we were probably thinking at the time 140, 150, something like that,
Sure.
that actually bowling on the last innings on this wicket after 3 days, if the track is doing a little bit, that could be really quite defendable.
Yeah.
Now, obviously the game hasn't panned out anything like that from Jersey's perspective at the moment, who knows, but I think the pitch is taken a bit more turn, and it's certainly it's lost that little bit of zip that we had with the rain on it, which I think made batting a little bit easier. So I think it is a little bit more tricky again now, but not 95 for 8 tricky.
Yeah, I'd say possibly slow turn though.
Yeah,
Certainly feel like it's been the slower balls that have offered more. But yeah, it probably was a surprise. We would have bowled first, having won the toss, so quite content with that. I guess the blueprint for Jersey over a long period of time there has been to bat first, hasn't it, and squeeze.
Yeah, and we have been historically extremely good at that. With our strong bowling backed up by exceptional fielding. I think we've got a couple of slightly weak spots which have been exploited, I suppose, by Guernsey, you'd say here.
Oh,
I think he got his spikes caught up in a bit of the matting there, which can happen.
your heart goes slightly 3 weeks out from the tournament when you see I don't know if you saw Marty's one earlier when he overextended, and Tommy had one in the deep. I'm sure your guys have had a couple as well. It's tricky out there. Perfectly playable, but tricky.
Yeah, and see that one just didn't quite come through, did it? It seemed to stop a bit in the pitch, which is what I felt was happening at the beginning of the game yesterday, before the rain came and spiced up the wicket a little bit, which actually makes it easier to bat on, in my opinion. Matt Stokes bowls quite similar to Chuggy Persard, really, I would say. Sort of similar style, pace, and on a wicket that offers a little bit. Very difficult to score runs from, which is part of being Chuggy Persard's success over the years. But there he goes. Stokes figures.
That keeper up as well makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, you want to be supported by a good keeper. I was very impressed by your other keeper, though, yesterday, who's missed out today.
Yep, Charlie's done brilliant over a fairly short period of time, to be honest. Been a couple of years in the domestic scene and done well, and then committed to Guernsey cricket. Had a great winter. He brings a fantastic work ethic to the squad. Great personality. He's a raider. Takes his rugby extremely seriously, and he kind of brings all of those positive traits into his cricket. Deserved appearance yesterday. Deserved cap.
Yeah, well, I thought so from what I saw, and as you say, that wicket-keeper role is so important in terms of what it gives the whole team. A sort of it's almost the barometer of what the team's going to act like in the field. Is you see that through the keeper, don't you?
Yeah.
It's very important to have the right keeper and the right personalities involved generally, which you really seem to have some switch has been flicked in this Guernsey side, I think, and it's impressive to see.
No, it's good. They're a good group, challenged themselves. As I said before, they've really committed to what we've asked. I think off pitch as well, just getting that balance right between recognising that they're amateurs, they've got jobs, families, other commitments, balancing everything off, getting the cricket at the right times for people. And we've sort of switched things up a bit with the training and how we organise, structure that, and the guys bought fully into that, and I guess you get your rewards, don't you?
But the other thing about Charlie Simmons, which I learnt last night off air from one of my Guernsey colleagues in the Channel Island over 50 team, is that he played with Scott Van Breda in that Channel Islands rugby team that played a couple of weeks ago. So that's quite nice.
Yeah, that was a nice, obviously, for them both to make their debut. I watched that game actually a couple of weekends ago, and it was a fantastic occasion. Hopefully it's something that will go from strength to strength. But yeah, teammates that day and international debutants for a totally different sport a couple of weeks later.
Yeah, some people might be surprised to know that Channel Islands teams can actually work, and certainly the over 50s cricket team that I'm involved in. That's a great shot from. That's an incredible shot. Really, really good effort. Chuggy Persard has shown his all-round ability as a cricketer there. He's looking for the same shot there, but he's got a thick outside edge. He's got a well-needed boundary from Jersey, get up to the 100 mark, which is a minor achievement from 2 for 3.
Woke a few people up, so there's a bit more noise around, which is always good.
Ooh, that's a good ball.
Spat that one,
That has. You see now that?
Yep.
You might find that 104 is a match-winning score here. On this pitch doing all sorts. Wouldn't want to be batting second on here. Bit of a discussion amongst the Guernsey think tank out there. I can't think they've got too much to be concerned about with Jersey on 104 for 8, but
I think Reece Palmer's just had his first beer over there. He's woken up. Always good when Reece is chatting. Two overs to go.
wow.
He's found the gap there.
Jackie Persard's got hold of that. That really is a very, very good cricket shot indeed from Jersey captain, who's picked that one up and deposited it over mid-wicket, well, through the mid-wicket gap for 4 runs. And these two have actually put on a partnership of over 30 now, which is not bad for the 10th wicket. Probably taking Jersey to places where they wouldn't have dared hoped for 7 or 8 overs ago, let's put it that way. Ooh.
Bit of his own medicine for Charles there. Lost count of the amount he's pulled out himself this weekend.
I don't know quite what happened there. I heard Chuggy say, I heard something as well, but I don't know what he could have heard.
Good battle. This is what it's all about, isn't it?
Well, that's good running. They called the 2 straight away as soon as he hit that. They were going to run. They were going to try and take 2. And it's a good bit of fielding, but from the position he got in, there was no way you were going to be able to pick it up and throw it.
Yeah, not quite clean in, was it?
No, not easy.
Six.
Persard's gone for this. And he's made it. He has done it. Well done, Chucky Persard. He's really... What a great little competitor he is. He makes the best out of every ounce of his ability. And he's managed to raise some Jersey smiles with a 6 over mid-wicket.
That 6 made possible by those boundaries you brought in overnight, Ward.
Well, I didn't bring them in personally, but I did suggest it might be a good idea.
Interesting that, to arrive at that this morning.
Well,
Slight misjudgment yesterday.
yeah. I understand the theory, and it might have worked if we'd been playing on an absolute road of a track, because I think, I mean, maybe not today, maybe not this afternoon, but historically, you'd say that the Jersey batsmen have been a little bit more capable of hitting the bigger hits than Guernsey, but I'm looking back a couple of years, that might not be true right now. And either way, on the surface that we presented with yesterday, and that's just no one to blame for whatsoever, it was just a mixture of the weather and a tough week for the poor groundsman, but it was never going to be easy to hit boundaries, and
No.
And Jersey were left with all they could do really was try and run twos, and it was quite a leveler, I think, because neither side was really going to hit many boundaries. I think I would imagine, I didn't keep a tally of it, but I think Guernsey actually probably hit more boundaries in their truncated chase.
Yeah, 2 more in our 12 overs than Jersey's 20.
Was that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, well, that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, the Persards have managed to put on a partnership of 40 odd, which is not a bad effort coming from where they were.
Very good effort, 44.
And Jersey are going to end up with a total which will be considerably fewer than they would have hoped for, but just might be defendable. So maybe we've got a game on, which maybe we didn't think we would have done at 2 for 3.
Or 74 for 8.
Correct. Well, we want to see a challenge, don't we? I mean, if Guernsey do get these runs, it would be good that it takes a bit of an effort for them to get it. That's probably good for everybody, really, if they do get them. We don't really want to be chasing 70 and do it in 10 overs. No one really learns anything. I mean, you win a trophy, which is nice.
Absolutely lovely, Ward. I'm happy to learn something another day. Harry Johnson's ball the last. That's 4.
Yeah.
Lined up. Mid-off's up.
Well, fair play to Will Persard there. He's putting together a decent little knock, these two. And there was me saying to Jimmy Persard, who's being ridiculous,
Well, I mean, he
we might get
was.
to 140, but perhaps Jersey aren't going to be all that far off that in the end. But although they've gone a rather circuitous route to get to wherever it is they're going to get to.
It wasn't a particularly revolutionary idea from Jim to just bat to the overs, but they've certainly done well to do so. Maybe him telling them every ball has just helped them.
That gonna?
Oh no,
Right.
going to go short aerial towards deep cover, but never really a chance for Butler there. Keeps it to 1. 3 to go. 50 partnership.
Yeah, that's a really good effort. Really good effort from these two.
Yeah, it is.
So mid-off has come up and fine leg has gone back. So Will Persard might be looking to try and go back over the bowler's head again here on the offside, but I reckon it's going to be a bit shorter, and it is a bit shorter, but
Just short of
pulled
the
out
deep
into
fine
the
leg.
wind, and you're only going to get 1 for that. Now, Chuggy, on the other hand, I'm going to have a little bit of a prediction here that he might try and look to get this over fine leg. I think he's going to try something a little bit different. Although maybe there isn't really the pace in this wicket to do that. I don't know. I've seen him do it before.
Swatting to deep fine leg and then just for another single. Oh no, they're coming back. No, they don't. It's actually a good throw in the end.
Yeah, it was a
Bit of
slight fumble, but it was very quickly corrected with an excellent throw, so there's only going to be the single there. Last ball of the innings. Been a tough old challenge this for Jersey. Won the toss, remember. Decided to bat. Scoreboard pressure. But it hasn't really worked like that.
Been a bit like the whole weekend, hasn't it? Back and forth. All three games, periods in each game.
Yeah. Where's Will Persard going to go? Oh.
He's going to cloth it.
Wow.
For four.
I told you one of them was going to try something a little bit different, and it was Will Persard off the last ball with a reverse pull, I guess you'd say. Got a bit of a bottom edge, but got the result he wanted, and somehow Jersey has scrambled up to 130, which, whilst it's definitely not a dominating score, is going to set a bit of a challenge. But well bowled Guernsey, well fielded as well, and well battled the Persard boys.
Yeah, they did very well at the end there. Put on 56. That's fantastic effort.
Right, well, we'll be rejoining you after a 10-minute break. See how we get on. Right, here we go. Welcome back to chilly Grainville, where this weekend of T20 cricket, or at one stage 17 overs-a-side cricket, which became 13 overs-a-side cricket. But anyway, the whole thing is coming to its eventual conclusion, and could be a little bit more exciting than we might at one stage have been imagining, with a really good rearguard action from the Persards, Charles and William, putting together a 50-run partnership, 50-odd run partnership for the 10th wicket, rescuing Jersey, I'm going to say, from the predicament of 74 for 8, and taking Jersey to the heady heights of 130, which actually might not be too bad a score to try to defend. It's just Jersey didn't exactly get there in the most conventional way, having been 2 for 3 and 16 for 4 at one stage. So a really, really tough battle from the Jersey middle and lower order. But Guernsey have been set 131 runs to win this game and win the T20 Challenge Trophy, which I think will be the first time that Guernsey have won it in its existence. And it's the debutant, Theo Pullman, opening the bowling from the pavilion end. Starts with a good one. Nice line from young Theo Pullman. The Guernsey opening batting combination remains unchanged, as you probably would have guessed, with Josh Buttler on strike, Ben Fitchett the non-striker. Chuggy Persard tries in vain to cut that off, but that's a solid start from Josh Buttler, who pulls that through straightish mid-wicket for 4 runs, and Guernsey are off to a start. Could be quite an interesting challenge here. Didn't look like Jersey were going to get anything like that score at one stage. And that's going to be a wide. And whilst 130 is not a match winning score by any stretch of the imagination, the fact is it should prove a challenge for Guernsey. The fact that they haven't been able to secure this trophy in the past adds a little bit of pressure as well. A lot's going to be down to the sort of start they make, and so far it's been looking pretty positive from Buttler as he pulls that through for 2 more runs. Early wickets, you'd say, are the key for Jersey here. If they take a couple of early wickets and put a bit of pressure on, it could become an interesting challenge. And there is the first wicket, and young Theo Pullman takes a wicket on debut as Buttler tries to stay on top of things and gets a thick top edge to short third man. So there is that early wicket we were talking about, and who knows, it's a funny old game. Just had a quick look at the weather radar, and for once, whilst it's not the warmest of afternoons here at Grainville, we're pretty guaranteed we're going to get through this game now. We've got clear weather on the horizon, scudding across clouds. You definitely want to be favouring the leg side boundary if you're a right-handed batsman facing deliveries from the pavilion end. You definitely want to favour that leg side boundary. This is why Jersey have got 2 of their best fielders out in deep square, deep mid-wicket positions, which you'd expect. And this is Tom Nightingale, perhaps Guernsey's key batsman at the moment. It's going to be an interesting challenge. Good start from Pullman. done all right here, the young lad. Taking a wicket in his first over. Conceded 1 boundary. Guernsey needing in the region of 7 and over. They've got their 7 off this over, but they've lost a wicket. Pullman drops a little bit short, and this time he gets dispatched by Tom Nightingale. That's another boundary 4. So Guernsey up to 11 from the first over. So it looks like Jersey are opening up with a spin of Nick Greenwood. The deep fielders at deep mid wicket and long on, which is probably where you'd expect them to be. Tom Nightingale back on strike. Ooh, he's shown some aggression there, and I think Samuerauer's not far from taking a catch there. Just got that on, probably on the half volley, but he made a great effort. Jersey fielders trying to pump up the pressure here on Guernsey. I mean, really, you'd have to say that sensible batting from Guernsey, needing little over a run a ball. This should be a fairly straightforward run chase. But that's before you start factoring in the pressure of an Inter Insular game, the pressure of trying to win your first trophy. And that's been skied. There's a chance here. And Harrison Carline takes the catch. And this is what Guernsey would have feared. The key man, Tom Nightingale, has sliced one not dissimilar to the way Josh Butler was out. Harrison Carline takes a good catch in the blustery conditions with the white ball against the white sky. He moves well to take that catch. And suddenly Guernsey are under a little bit of pressure here themselves. It's going to be a fascinating afternoon, the way this could turn out. So it's the steady and reliable Matthew Stokes here. Can he guide Guernsey to this first victory in T20 Inter Insular Series? But he comes in with a score on 14 for 2. And there is pressure on everybody here. You can feel it. The Jersey fielders are up for it. They really want to make sure that Guernsey fight for this win if they're going to get it. And Greenwood completes that first over, just conceding 2 runs and taking that vital wicket. Could be a good game of cricket. Young Theo Pullman gets a second over. And he's bowling at Ben Fitchett. Slightly worrying, I've just seen Julius Samuerauer come off the pitch in trying to take that catch. I think he's damaged a finger. He's been replaced by the 12th man, Scott Van Breda. And Jersey will want to get Samuerauer back on the park because his bowling could be important. Pullman gets a bit of pace there, sort of slingy action. And swing and a miss from Fitchett. It's a good slower ball from Pullman, but it's spotted by Fitchett, who hits the ball, times it very, very nicely, but it's no run again. Pressure just building ever so slightly. Oh, Pullman's. Is he gonna? No, he's not going to get away with that one. I wondered for a moment. Oh! It looked a half-decent shout for a moment, but just spearing down the leg side, and there's a muted appeal from Jersey, but there's quite a bit of excitement out there at the moment. Oh! Well, Fitchett's had a big swing at that, and the ball's hit his pad. It's gone up in the air above his helmet, and he obviously lost sight of it entirely, and there was just a tiny chance for a moment that ball might have landed back down on the stumps or trickled back onto them. Anyway, it didn't happen, but caused a little bit of amusement. Pullman's tried that slower, wider Yorker, but he's put it too wide, so it's another wide delivery. It's been a bit of a mixed bag. He's bowled some very good deliveries and then a couple of wides here. Jersey fielding's looking back to its normal sharpness so far at the moment as Samuerauer comes back on the pitch, so Jersey will be breathing a sigh of relief. It looks to me as if he's got a problem, it's with his left hand, which hopefully won't affect his bowling too much. Anyway, he's back on the park, so we'll see him in action shortly, I would imagine. Just watching that LBW, well, it wasn't an LBW shot, but he went off his pad and There's some amusement from the Jersey fielders waiting to see if the ball was going to spin back onto his stumps, but it wasn't. Back to Greenwood from the St Saviour's Bowling Club end. In the first innings of the in the run chase in the game earlier today, Nick Greenwood ended up with 45 runs. That's been the highest individual score in this whole series so far, as Stokes plays one of his trademark shots behind point for 4 runs. Superb timing from Stokes. A sort of classy player who could win this game. As I was starting to say there, any batsman who scores a cultured 50 here is in all likelihood going to win the game for their side. But no one's managed to reach that mark so far in the two and a bit games that we've played. So maybe batting's not just quite so easy. Blustery conditions. Just a 1 boundary off that over from Nick Greenwood. Guernsey going along 26 for 2 from 4 overs. Still needing just over a run a ball, which, sensible batting you'd think, shouldn't really be too much of a challenge. Anyway, here comes Samuerauer. Two more overs of power play. Guernsey will be quite anxious to make some more inroads into this total, I would suggest. And that's not going to help Jersey. That's a wide down the leg side from Samuerauer. Starts up. Oh, that's going to be close. No, umpire's not interested at all. Not far from a run out from Paddy Googe either. It's all happening out there. A reasonable shout for LBW, I thought there. I've got a colleague watching over my shoulder. Wait for the nod. Possibly going down the leg side, me think. A decent shout, and umpire showed absolutely no interest whatsoever. Here comes Samuerauer again. Sorted his line out after that initial wide. And he's spot on. Bowling at decent pace. I definitely think that the pitch has gone back to what it was like at the beginning of yesterday's first game, where it's just a little bit slow coming onto the bat and just not so easy to time your shots. Oh, now that said, that's a pretty nasty high full toss from Samuerauer. He's been no balled. He's going to get a warning as well. I'm fairly certain that there was no malice there, but something went wrong. So this will be a free hit for Stokes. Not the sort of person, I think, to get ruffled by that, although never very pleasant when that happens to you. And a good response from Samuerauer. He bowled a quick, shorter ball, which Stokes doesn't manage to get hold of, in spite of it being a free hit, but they do run through for a bye. Samuerauer to Fitchett. Strange over this, hasn't actually conceded a run except for extras, of which there have been 4. A reminder that Guernsey need to score in the region of 6.5 and over, so run a ball really. Shouldn't be a problem, but they are 2 wickets down, and there is that pressure of a trophy and Inter Insular glory. And Samuerauer's not going to get away with that one either. That's another one in the extras column. He's got his line right this time, and Fitchett's gone right across the line there, to be honest with you. I think he was wanting to use the wind and that relatively short boundary, but it was a bit of pace, and the ball just took off and hit the top of off stump. Classic fast bowler's dismissal really, and Guernsey are now 3 wickets down. 31 for 3. Fitchett the man out. A lot resting on Matthew Stokes here, I would say. Here's the replay, and you can see that top of off stump just clips the bail, and a big celebration for Samuerauer. And Jersey feel they're probably back in the hunt here. Exactly 100 runs still required from Guernsey. Okay, Zach Damrell, the new batsman. Samuerauer's in and finishes a strange over, really, a bit of a curate's egg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extras, including 2 wides, a rather unpleasant no ball, and a wicket. Guernsey 31 for 3. Run rate required has crept up a tiny bit, just over 6.5, but it's really neither here nor there. Greenwood's bowled 2 overs for just 9 runs, and he's coming on for his 3rd over. Stokes just plays with control. It's as if he knows exactly what he needs to do. He's not going to play any silly shots. If he's still there at the end on 50, 60 not out, it's a great win for Guernsey. Samuerauer on strike. Is he going to be tempted by that boundary assisted by the wind? Probably not just at the moment, I would imagine. Nice delivery from Greenwood, a bit of flight there, and you can see that on that slower delivery does take a little bit of turn. That ball definitely turned, and that's what the Jersey thought process was when it came to batting first, and again you see that one maybe just go through the top of the pitch a little bit. Not so easy to bat on here, especially for a left-hander with the ball turning away from you. It's another cracking delivery. That's 3 in a row that have given Samuerauer real trouble. Maybe that's something to do with this pitch just getting a bit tired and old. And Greenwood does it again. What a piece of bowling this is. That's 4 in a row now. I think he'd be quite happy to carry on bowling at the left-hander here, Greenwood. What a great over that's been. That's fantastic. And that sees Jersey out of the power play. So this is where it does get interesting now. We know if the Jersey fielding is at its absolute peak, which it should be under these circumstances, they should be able to make life pretty tricky for Guernsey. They don't tend to concede too many twos. Having said all that, the Guernsey fielding has been absolutely first class in this whole series of games, and there's really been nothing to pick between the two teams in terms of the fielding or the catching for that matter. Some absolutely superb catches have been taken. But I'm going to predict here this is not going to be a walk in the park for Guernsey. If they get over the line, they'll fully deserve it. It'll be a hard-fought win, but I think Jersey are going to make them really, really fight for this. It's just, you can tell that the Jersey fielders are really up for it. Stokes might well be the key. How often have we said that? He's just got that little bit more time than most batsmen. Now how can Samuerauer fare against the quicker bowler? He had a tough first over there with Greenwood giving him 3 or 4 deliveries which were a real test. Probably be quite keen to get off the mark and get up the other end and get Stokes to do the hard work. But, can he do it? Another play and a miss. Good delivery there from Samuerauer. That's, I think, has gone through bat and pad. Just missed the inside edge. Just missed the off stump. This is a good little spell of bowling from the Jersey bowlers. Maybe the pitch is a little bit tricky. Another play and a miss. That's 8 deliveries now. Samuerauer's face without scoring a run. He'll be feeling a little bit of pressure here. Just about got away with that one. This time he doesn't get away with that one, and Richard Vayard quite rightly calls that one a wide. I think he probably just got the benefit of the doubt the one before. But he's bowling all right though, Julius, to be fair. There have been some extras given away, but he's also looked pretty threatening. Samuerauer eventually gets off the mark. Interesting to see the required run rate creeping up now, coming up towards 7.5. You'd say that, but one good over or one good hit like that, and then once again, who is it but Stokes dealing with that with real ease, picks that spot. A superb shot from Stokes, and 4 runs to him. He's up to 12 off 12 deliveries. I can't help thinking if Stokes is here at the end on, and maybe the first batsman in the whole series of these matches to score a 50, he'll be doing his island proud. Having said that, a couple of wickets here, and Guernsey will really be fancying their chances. Good game of cricket lined up. We're going to see a bit of Harrison Carline here. Didn't quite come off with the bat today. Maybe he's going to contribute with the ball. Can Samuerauer get going here? Well, he gets off strike anyway, which is probably his number one objective at this stage of the game. Stokes keen for 2. Zach Tribe's pretty quick. He's an incredibly safe pair of hands, and he's pretty quick onto that. They were never going to get the 2 there. This is where Guernsey have historically been really, really strong in the field, putting lots of pressure on all sorts of opposition. But Guernsey have got a great chance of winning this game. Very enthusiastic appeal from Carline. Maybe one appeal too many actually there. As Samuerauer tries something a little bit funky. It doesn't come off with the reverse hit. You can see he was itching to get going there. He really wanted to do something, and he's managed it. He's got hold of that one, and he has got the boundary that he really, really needed. And Guernsey will be grateful for that too. Samuerauer moves on to 6 of 14 deliveries. Well, Carline concedes that one boundary, but not too much damage done. He's gone for 7 off that over, which is pretty much spot on what the Guernsey required rate is. Now this might confuse the viewers. Captain Chuggy Persard has taken his jumper off and is now masquerading as Nick Greenwood. But this is the unmistakable figure of Chuggy Persard coming on to bowl. And this could be a key battle, really. Persard, miserly figures, 4 wickets in the last game. and Samuerauer's struggling a little bit, but the key wicket is Stokes. Here comes Chuggy.
Get him out, come on!
Well, a little bit of controversy there. There was an appeal. Samuerauer didn't want to move. The stumps appear to have been broken. I'm assuming he was actually bowled here, and Samuerauer didn't really want to believe it. He's having a little bit of a chat with somebody about the whole situation. Probably going to see on our replay exactly what did happen, I would hope. He's not very happy. Here we go, and we see the. I don't think it was a stump. I don't think it was a stumping. I think he's. Oh yes, well there we are. It's quite clear. Bottom edge onto his stumps, and really there's absolutely no argument about that whatsoever. Samuerauer's innings comes to an end. Matt Stokes still there, of course. It's the Guernsey captain, who I don't think has batted so far in the games we've seen in this particular series, taking strike for the first time. So it's captain against captain. Guernsey 46 for 4. Where's your money now? It's been a very, very interesting game, this. Those of you listening to commentary at the beginning, when Jimmy Persard was estimating that a decent score might be around 140, and then suddenly Jersey had 2 for 3, 16 for 4. 140 seemed a million miles away, and then somehow they actually managed to get to 130, which arguably is not such a bad score, albeit achieved in a circuitous route. And suddenly Guernsey have still got another 85 runs required, but they're 4 down. Pressure is mounting, you can feel it. But Matt Stokes is still there, though. That's the key. Ollie Nightingale, captain's innings perhaps. Chuggy Persard, showing all his skills. Ooh, that was a good ball. That was Nightingale almost got himself in a tangle there. He's trying to get across, and I think he's trying to push the ball onto the onside, but if he'd missed that, that was going to be close to LBW, I think. Great bowling from Persard. We've seen this so many times in international cricket. He might, from the sideline, look a bit innocuous. He's not quick by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got some subtle variations. He swings the ball, he nips it around. I was about to say he was going to bowl a wicket maiden there, but some good improvisation from Ollie Nightingale. Takes a single off the last ball, but I suggest Jersey probably won't mind too much bowling at Nightingale rather than Matt Stokes, so we'll have another go. 47 for 4 off 9 overs, so we're coming up to halfway stage of the game. It really is delicately poised. Now look at that for a scorecard from Jersey. Disaster at the top of the order. Good contributions from Samuerauer. Zach Tribe, looked like there was going to be a rescue act. Then more of a disaster. And then the Persards. I'm not quite sure what their relationship is. I know they are distantly related. But anyway, they put together a very good partnership of 50 odd for the 10th wicket. Is that going to be sufficient to rescue Jersey? At the moment, I think it's evens out there. Where's the betting syndicate stats when you need them? Harrison Carlyon back on. Nightingale takes the single. He's thinking about 2, but the Jersey fielding's never going to let that happen. And now you got Matt Stokes back on strike. Stokes is content to take the single though. You can see what's going to happen here. I'm predicting that Stokes isn't going to take any risks at all. He's going to take the ones and he's going to end up with 2 or 3 overs to go on something like 40 not out, and then the power is in his hands. But can Jersey somehow manage to squeeze him out? And how's Nightingale going to play? Is he going to go a bit more aggressive? Because it's all very well Stokes taking the singles, which is going to get you very close. But someone's going to have to try and play a couple of boundary shots just to relieve the pressure. We may not have been blessed with the best weather yesterday and today. We've been on and off for rain, but it's been fascinating cricket. And it's going to go to the wire, I think. Well, they're going to try and take 2 here. They're looking at it, but the Jersey fielding is back to near its very, very best. No run.
Well, it's Will Kay here, just taking over for a few minutes from Ward, who's popped off for a short break, having done a terrific job of commentating. Just below 80 runs to go, off 10 overs, easy to work out the maths on that. Nip and tuck, but I have to say that Ward's spot on when he says that the key to this game is the elegant and sensible batting of Matt Stokes, looking very good. So who have we got now bowling? It looks like a change. It looks like Will Persard coming on now to replace Chuggy Persard after his very economical and incisive over. Probably at a key juncture of the game now. Ward is back. Hand over to him.
Yeah, so it's fascinatingly poised, William. I'm sure you'll agree. Will Persard coming on to bowl his first over in this game from the pavilion end. Nightingale gets a bit of right hand into that. Seems to me that Guernsey aren't really even considering the boundary options at the moment. They're just content to take as many singles as they can and try and play sort of risk-free cricket. Now, if they do that, it's going to get them close, and then it's going to be a question of who
I think
holds
Ward,
their
what
nerve.
you said just now is spot on. If they keep wickets in hand, it's a sensible way to approach the last 3 or 4 overs. The key for Guernsey now is not to lose 1 or even 2 wickets.
Well, certainly, yeah. They don't want to lose wickets, and they definitely don't want to lose Stokes' wickets because he can guide them over the line. I mean, you wouldn't say that Matt Stokes has done anything particularly spectacular so far, but he's still a bit Joe Root-like.
More or less a runner ball. I think,
Runner ball,
isn't it?
yeah, sorry, that's what I was going on to say. I was just looking at the Jersey fielding there while that was going on, which there was a slight chance of a 2 there, but the speed of the Jersey fielders means that that's really going to be difficult for them to achieve. But yeah, run a ball without taking any risks and looking extremely calm. And Will Persard strayed a little bit too wide there,
and
taken
full
full
toss,
advantage, full toss outside the off stump, and Stokes isn't going to miss out on
not
that.
going to miss those. I'm going to say the same. Yeah.
Oh,
Came across his stumps a bit there, but kept his eye on the ball. Never any danger. Need a dot ball now for a reasonable over by Will. Would you agree?
yeah.
Just
The
that one
difference
ball.
between a dot ball is a dot ball or a boundary is the difference between a okay over and a. Ooh, he's bowled a very good ball indeed, which Nightingale gets in a bit of a tangle. And yeah, Will Persard gets through, only conceding 7 runs off the over, which is, well, pretty much what Guernsey need. They're actually up to nearly 8 and over required now. But no need to panic if you're a Guernsey batsman, and no signs of Stokes panicking, that's for certain. But there is that sort of scoreboard and maybe even tournament pressure, certainly trophy pressure today. Anyway, for those of you watching at home and the Hardy, who there's a good I don't know, 50 or 60 people around the ground, some of them tucked away in the bar, don't blame them. But
I think just to interject here, it's good to see from that bowling analysis sheet just now that Chuggy Persard's still got 3 overs left. His economical bowling could be up the run rate, maybe, from a Jersey point of view.
well, we're going to see now because he's changed ends and he's coming on from the far end. Oh, there was a bit of excitement there. The suspicion from, or the suggestion from Chuggy Persard was that there might have been an edge which flicked off Googe's gloves and up in the air and could have been caught, but no realistic chance of that. And no one else seemed to be that excited about it.
Good fielding, by
Fielding
Chuggy.
yeah, good fielding off his own bowling there. 2 more dot balls. Chuggy's taken 1 for 1 off 8 balls so far. How's Stokes going to react? Will he maintain his cool persona? I suspect he will. Others maybe would not. No, it shows some signs of aggression, and he might get 2 here. He's going to go for 2, and they get the 2 safely. They found that gap there.
What would you say about the light at this stage of the evening, Ward? How would you regard it if you were batting there tonight?
Well, I think I know what you're sort of hinting at, but with a white ball, it's not going to make any difference anyway. No one's going off, let's put it that way. This game's going to be concluded, whatever. And we actually played in much darker conditions yesterday. That's a good bit of fielding and extra cover.
I'm thinking more about the batsman's ability to hit the 4s and the big 1 runs at the end of the innings.
Yeah, point taken. I personally have always taken the view that actually when it gets dark, it's the fielding that's tougher than the batting.
Yeah, good point.
Although less so with a white ball, to be fair, which I haven't played so much with. Yeah, that was a fine bit of fielding by, I think that was Stan Norman there at extra cover. I was waiting for that sort of shot.
Get to.
Oh, I think he's okay there.
Yes, I'd say.
It was right in front of us. We've got a good view. It was
I think he
touch
released
and go.
I think he released the ball as his feet went over, but there'll be a replay, no doubt, or perhaps not. No.
we might see a replay. It's not going to
right
get referred.
Right in front of us.
Right in front of us, and Will Persard did a good job there.
Yes, I agree. Six off the over.
Yeah, so Charles Persard gets through another over. He's only conceded 7 off 2. Could be almost a game-changing performance from the captain, especially if you put that together with his fantastic innings at the end of the Jersey knock. This game is shaping up nicely. Guernsey now needing over 8 and over. Here we go. This is the little scoop from Nightingale. It's a good shot. Seen him play these kinds of shots many times. Will Persard comes scuttling around the boundary, makes good ground. Yeah, his foot's over the line there, but he's obviously got rid of the ball before, so I think it was a good bit of fielding. Anyway, it's done and dusted now. Now this is a key moment. This is young Theo Pullman. He's done all right so far, 16 off 2. But he's on debut. It's a tough time to be making your debut. He's gone for that slower ball again, but he's sort of half fooled the batsman. Nightingale's watched it very carefully.
I think what Ollie's doing here is he's getting the strike to Matt Stokes, not clogging up an end. So playing a good hand here, Ollie.
Yeah, sensible batting from the Guernsey skipper. Oh, and Stokes, that's one of those moments where the bowler feels as if he's won a little bit of a moral battle, but in fact it's 4 runs to the batsman.
Quite a bit of width there.
It was a bit of width. So, who's left to bowl, William? Chuggy Pershard's got 2.
He's got 2.
So that takes us, that'll be 13 after this, so that'll be 15 overs gone.
Is that your, no, is that yours? I've lost mine. I'll get your half.
Pullman again. Oh, slight misfield, and they might, because of that misfield, they might take the second run. So, a little bit of misfortune for Pullman in this over.
So to answer your question about who's left, Samuerauer 2, I think, would that be right?
Okay, that'd be about right.
And Charles Persard 2. That's 4 of the next 8 overs, 7 overs really.
But boundaries have been a bit of a premium recently, haven't they, William? Nightingale got close to a boundary there, which is good fielding from Will Persard. And there was a boundary hit down to some time ago though now. And if you're not hitting boundaries, then a run of ball, there's going to be some dot balls in there. Now they're going to try and get, no, they won't get 2 here. That's good work from Googe. But Nightingale batting extremely sensibly here. 11 off 15, that's fine. Stokes, you don't think of Stokes as scoring particularly quickly, but he's over a run of ball. Good slower ball, which is spotted at the last moment, I would argue. And just a single. Pullman's done all right here. It's unfortunate, you could argue, with that boundary. Okay, it was a slightly wide delivery, but it was a thick edge. An uncontrolled shot, really, an unusual one from Stokes. So he benefited with 4 runs. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 7, 8,
I think
10.
Ward, an interesting juncture of the game is when Chuggy brings Samuerauer on. I think they've got to take a couple of wickets here.
Here we go. So Greenman's got 1. Suma's got 2. Chuggy's got 2.
How late can you leave bringing Julius on, do you think? Wicket-taking bowler.
Yep. Yeah. It's a shame the sun's not shining, because other than that, it's been a great couple of games of cricket. Now, his turn there again. That's I think
Greenwood again.
This is Greenwood,
His last over.
Yeah,
Who's bowled 3.1 overs for 10.
10. So
that's pretty good.
he's
One wicket.
been very reliable.
Not such a good ball, but only one.
Only one.
Bit lucky to get away with that.
Now, okay, William, what's Nightingale going to do here? I've got a feeling he's itching to try and hit a boundary, but will he still be content with just pushing the one and getting Stokes on strike? What do you think?
I think the latter. I think he realises that the match winner here is Matt Stokes, and he's just playing sensibly.
I think you're probably right. Well,
Tend to think that Jersey need a wicket in this over or next to really get back into it.
yeah, I think you're right. But I also think that if Guernsey carry on batting the way they are at the moment, they are. Now that is a very, very good shot indeed. See, this is what Stokes is capable of. He'll play really conventionally, and then when he really needs to pull one of those top draw shots out, he's done that, and that's against Nick Greenwood, who's been one of the more successful Jersey bowlers. So I think, again, demonstrating what he can do. He could be a hero for Guernsey here, Stokes.
Miserly spell by performance by Nick Greenwood.
Yeah, it has been. Just went for that one boundary. Thing is, the relatively small target that Jersey set, it just needs one big over from Guernsey, and that's it. It's all over. But the Jersey bowling and fielding has demanded that that's going to be quite a challenge.
Big moment now, I think, in the game. Julius Samuerauer coming back on.
Yeah. Well, you said
from the clubhouse end.
You called it, William. You said that his return was going to be critical, and actually, a wicket or two would make a huge difference. I seem to recall that in that critical T20 qualifying tournament in Guernsey last year, which Guernsey eventually won, it was down to Stokes really who won that final game with a great performance, and I think he's looking to replicate that here today.
I think an indication of the way Guernsey are batting. I think it's about 38 this stand, 12 of them or 13 by Ollie Nightingale. So the majority of the scoring done by Matt Stokes, and it's an obvious thing to say that if he's there at the end, Guernsey almost certainly will win.
Yeah. But a little bit of magic from Samuerauer, or a superb bit of fielding perhaps, could change that. It's
Going for two, do you think?
Has got darker.
Yes, they
They
are.
are going for two. Good arm from Nick Greenwood out there, but they take the two.
Full-size boundaries here today. Probably some twos later on in the innings if they want to take the opportunity.
Well, you weren't here yesterday, William, to see that actually the boundaries have been pulled in quite substantially from yesterday, and I think quite rightly so. And there was so few boundaries in yesterday's games, that was an indication that they'd been, in my view, incorrectly placed. And
Sure.
this has made for probably better cricket. Fewer twos, but more fours, and we've seen quite a few sixes. And now we've seen another four. That's a very, very good shot from Matt Stokes. He's seen the opportunity there and carved that away down to third man. And a couple of boundaries when you're chasing a relatively small target makes a huge difference. Right, response needed from Jersey bowlers here. Good ball.
Big 15th over for Guernsey there. What's that? 10 off the over. 15th over's just gone for 10. That's they'll feel a bit more comfortable now, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Not a bad over from Julius. It's a little bit of width, but a great shot from Stokes to hit that boundary.
Boundary makes such a difference.
It does.
Will Persard, it looks like, from the bowling club end.
Stokes has got up to 44 off 35, and I hate to say I told you so, but I think I might have mentioned something about someone scoring a 50 and maybe being there at the end. And I suspected it could be him, and looks like I might be right. So Will Persard's one over so far. Big bowled all right, went for 8. Chuggy's got 2 left, so this will take it to 16. Chuggy's overs take it to 18, and you got Harrison. Still got one from Julius as well. So it's going to. Oh, looks like a change of plan. It is Harrison. It's not going to be Will Persard. So
he was warming up, wasn't he? He was there at the crease.
He was
bowled at umpire's end.
We're sticking with the slow attack, which I think probably on balance is probably the right decision. Tough calls here. Chuggy Persard marshalling his troops, getting his fielders in exactly the right position.
Wide given.
Not ideal.
These tight games, extra is so important. The odd no ball and a few wides thrown in by Jersey here.
You can feel the tension though, William, can't you?
You can,
yeah. It means something to these players.
Ollie Nightingale getting a little bit cramped up there.
Yeah.
Harrison probing the wickets. And then release a bit of pressure with one just outside the leg stump. Ollie Nightingale, almost a runner ball. Very mature innings here.
He certainly played a good supporting role. He's been quite happy to pass the onus on to Matthew Stokes, who's played very, very nicely indeed.
Can't recall an error, can you, by a full stroke by Matthew?
No. 46 for 4 was a very different proposition to 95 for 4. Looking for the second here. No. Pullman's got a great arm. He really has, actually. Oh, hello. Hello. Well, that is remarkable. It's a great bit of fielding by Stan Norman. Released the ball so quickly.
Unnecessary risk there.
I think it was. But I think...
And who is out?
Ollie Nightingale.
Nightingale, yep.
He's not very happy. He's had a long look at the umpire.
Always a tight run if the fielder picked it up cleanly, wasn't it?
It was, and also it was quick work and a decent throw, but also, well, here we go, we can see this now. We should be able to get a good idea. It's great. Oh, that is a superb release. Oh yes, I think that was clearly out. I don't know, I'd like to see it again.
Made the bowler's job straightforward because
that was real.
The throw was right over the top of the stumps.
Oh yeah.
Very tight. I can see why Ollie may have been a bit unhappy about that, but umpire was in a very good position, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. And well, it was whatever way you look at it, that was an exceptional bit of pickup from Stan Norman. It really was. He screamed in there and threw himself in mid-air, full length. I mean, you can see why Ollie Nightingale, like most of us, we're never happy when we're out. But also he realises quite what a critical part of the game it was, and how, okay, it's not Stokes, but that wicket makes a big difference, and now you've got an end to bowl at.
Harrison, 3 singles and a wide, 4 and a wicket. Good over. Unnecessary risk, really, at this stage of the game?
Yes, I think so, but those little runs have been taken throughout, and you probably think you're going to get away with that 9 times out of 10, don't you? I mean, yes, an unnecessary risk, but you're probably going to get away with it. But it was an exceptional piece of fielding. Could it possibly change the result of this match? Possibly not.
So what is it? 34 off 4. We've got 4 overs left. Just close to 8, but I think the run rate is probably relatively at this stage.
Now I need to keep this to 1 and keep Stokes off strike. Jersey have kept it to 1, so it's going to be a little bit of pressure on Martindale Bradley, who's had a very, very good couple of days, but he has got a bit of a side strain stroke injury from that previous game. What can he do? Oh dear. Wow.
Really agricultural stroke by the number 7 batsman there. Not a great piece of fielding. 1 run.
Yeah.
Guernsey reaching a bit of a landmark soon. 100. Probably they'll feel a bit more easy when they get to that figure. Good shot there.
you just don't feel with Stokes that he's going to do anything stupid, do you?
Agreed. Yeah. I think you said earlier he looks like he's got that little bit more time than the other batsman.
Yeah.
Keeps the ball on the ground unless he's going for a 4 when he goes for a.
Now, I think if you're Jersey captain, bowlers, fielders at this stage, what you're thinking is, if we can keep Stokes off strike, and if we can get whoever it is, Bradley or whoever's coming in next, sort of marooned at one end and unable to score for a bit, that changes the equation and also maybe just puts a little bit of pressure on Stokes when he gets back on strike. That's probably the best angle you can go from, and that was so close to taking a wicket. Great delivery from Chuggy Persard. Bradley goes all round it, somehow it misses bat, pads, stumps, everything. But look at Chuggy's figures. Nearly completed 3 overs and he's going to have gone for, well, 13 at the moment. Don't be fooled by the name on the back of his shirt. Oh, and it's going to get a wide against him there, which should be, yeah, well, fair enough. That'd be disappointing. Just when you're getting out of that over. So this will be 17 gone. Chuggy will probably bowl 19th,
19th over, probably.
He'll bowl the 19th, so who's going to bowl the last over?
I guess it's going to have to be Julius, don't you think? Because
imagine-
one of
I
the
would imagine
youngsters
so.
can't be asked to bowl the 20th against these batsmen.
Yeah. Stokes goes to 47. No one has scored a 50 in this series of games so far. And you can't help feeling a 50 is going to be, well, probably deservedly a match-winning score by any batsman.
In the 30 seconds before this 18th over starts, very quickly, what are your highlights of the last 24 hours? What are the 2 or 3 main standouts?
Right, okay, you put me on the spot there. Well, there was an absolutely stunning catch by Josh Buttler earlier this afternoon, the likes of which you don't often see. There's been some impressive 6 hitting. I think Jersey managed their run chase in the previous game really rather well, and without there being anything particularly spectacular to highlight in that. It was
But I've been very impressed by Matthew Stokes. I mean, we've said it for the last half an hour.
Yes,
He's playing a very good innings.
Now, this over, this could be key now, this little match up here. If you can keep Bradley on strike for, let's say, 3 balls, which they're not going to do.
Leg by.
I mean, although you could argue at this stage of the game that run rate is a bit hypothetical because it's more the number of runs that are needed rather than runs per over. But nevertheless, that run rate has crept up all the way through this Guernsey innings. And it's now 10.5. We were looking at 6.5 at one stage, 7. It's gone up to 10.5, but you've never felt that it's out of their reach at all.
I had thought that Guernsey would need to lose all their wickets to lose, and that Jersey had to bowl them out.
And that's a poor delivery, which has been not completely punished. Just gets 2 for that. Good fielding by Theo Pullman with that fantastic arm of his.
So run rate could come into it. They're obviously not going to get 5 wickets now, so
Right, this is
Stokes on 49.
Stokes on strike on 49. I think we're a bit behind on that.
good shot.
There it is. There it is.
Great innings. Hats off.
Yeah, that's a super knock. .23 off 2 overs. Like some of my friends back in Guernsey will be biting their fingernails. It's a good shot. Is that going to go for the boundary? Yeah, it has gone. Yep. It's gone. It was a good effort down there, but what a shot that was. Great shot. The boundary absolutely critical at this stage. The last ball of the over. Guernsey require 19 off 2 overs to claim the trophy. Cracking couple of days of cricket. It's going to be Samuerauer and Chuggy Persard to bowl the last 2 then, William.
Yep.
I mean, Guernsey, strong favourites, but no one's actually scored. Well, we've rarely scored 10 and over throughout the whole of this innings, and they've got to score 10 and over effectively. So I'm not going to say the game is in the balance, but there's still plenty to fight for. Oh, and that could kill it. That's going to be 4.
Great
no,
fielding.
Superb bit of fielding.
Good teamwork as well. One man stopping it, the other throwing it in.
That's great fielding from Zach Tribe. Saved 2 runs there.
Like to see Julius bowling.
What a bit of fielding that was. Yeah. Watching it in slow motion.
Like to see Julius bowling a bit fuller here.
Oh, that's the most unfortunate dismissal.
Does it come off his body onto the stumps? Or how did it?
I think. Yes, it has. It has. I thought he'd actually hooked it off his body onto his glove and had been caught by the keeper, but actually
bail off, and that's an unlucky dismissal.
It is really unfortunate. It's hit him in his chest, and then his body's dragged it. Oh no!
Played on, hit wicket.
Yeah.
That's hit wicket. Would you say?
I think that's hit wicket. Hit wicket, and that
it looked like played on at first glance, but that seemed that he came round with the toe end of his bat and knocked the bail off. Perhaps not so unlucky.
So the only thing that happens here is that a new batsman comes in. Let's say he's got to face more or less half of the remaining deliveries, and there's only 10 balls left. If Persard has to face 5 of those, then he's under pressure to do something. Or can Stokes do it off 5 balls on his own? Probably just about. No, not quite.
Sensible play here is not to try and hit a 4, to try and give Matthew Stokes the strike.
That is a sensible play.
See what he does. That wasn't what the previous batsman did.
Critical moments coming up. Wow. Persard went large. He didn't do what William Kay had sensibly suggested and just try and nudge a single. He got a bit thinking of glory. Inside edge onto his knee, and the ball trickled nowhere. No run. So Persard has to face another delivery. Who said cricket was boring? Might be a bit cold, but... Oh, no, dear. That was a bit of a slack keeping there, just when you had the chance to keep him on strike for at least one more ball.
Disappointing. Sorry to say, I have to agree there. It was at his feet, but it was a slower ball, and he probably should have... He won't be happy with that.
And now you've got Stokes back on strike, and he can manage this quite carefully. But mind you, he's only got 8 balls left. So what do you do if you're Matt Stokes here? Do you think about trying to hit a boundary? Do you take a single and get on strike for the last over? But is a single going to be enough? You're going to put all that pressure on you. Jersey are happy to give the single here. Oh my goodness me! That is exactly what you do. What a player this man is.
Yes.
What a strike.
I think again Julius bowling a tad short, and Stokes was on to that in a flash.
I know, but what an execution though.
Yeah.
What a shot.
That's changed the dynamic of this match in one stroke.
It has. And is deservedly so, because it's been a magnificent innings. There it is. What a player. What a player.
How often is the 19th over the one in which the good batsmen tend to make their move? And Matthew Stokes has done just that. 10 in 2 balls, 7 needed off the last over. But it's been bowled to Luke.
It's been bowled to Luke Persard,
who's been in for only 2 balls.
Yeah.
But again, bring the fielder in, but don't give him the one.
Ooh. That's difficult. That is difficult. When you know, if both batsmen know they want to take a single, it's almost impossible to stop them doing it. I mean, you might,
unless you've got Stanley Norman with his 6'8" telescopic reach. Rugby style pass as he got the ball into Harrison Carlyon. It probably needs a bit of magic, doesn't it, in the last over? Pull this out. Been a very exciting game, whoever wins.
Slight confusion with the scores, which could be rather important. Persard to Bishard. Alright, gets the single. Now, what you're going to do, William, you've got all the ability of Matt Stokes here, and you've got 5 balls to score, well, 6 or 7
I think
runs.
he'll be looking
5
for
or 6 runs, I'm not sure.
the wide mid-on position and go for 2. There's a big space out there in mid-wicket.
You reckon he's not going to go for the boundary?
No, I don't think so. And there it is.
No.
John T. Jenner's going to stop it. No. They've gone for...
Oh!
Brilliant fielding by Jenner there.
Wow, that was could possibly be a key moment. I mean, if they'd taken 2, Stokes back on strike, but it was a good bit of fielding, and they stopped that 2, which does at least maintain the pressure on Bishard. Hat trick, William? Oh, it's a dot ball though! Now it's getting interesting. Now it's getting interesting. Well,
tend to think that going for the big hit now, if you're the batsman just in, it maybe isn't the right play. And I think Stokes is probably telling him just that.
Push one.
Go for one and
leave it to
I'll
me.
do the rest.
Leave it to me. Can Bishard do it though? Oh my goodness me! Who said cricket was boring?
I think he changed his approach there, having gone for the big hit on the previous ball. He then clearly wanted to go for one and just sort of seemed to quit on it.
Now, William, just pretend you're Adam Martell now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a bit nervous, I must say. I mean, a dot ball.
I don't want to put any more pressure on him than he's under, but he knows he's got 2 balls. Well, according to the scoreboard, he thinks he needs 5 runs off 2 balls.
Yeah. So
According to our scoreboard, he needs 4. So there's a little bit of discrepancy there. We'll worry about that in a moment. But either way, he also probably knows a little bit of the history of these games, and Guernsey haven't won this trophy for 5 years. And really, unfortunately, at the moment, it's all down to him. If he gets off strike, it's not down to him.
yeah.
But this ball is probably critical. If Chuggy Persard can get him out or keep him on strike. My goodness me, I told you.
You did say hat-trick. You've not yet. That's 2 in 2 for Chuggy.
Yeah, but
Jersey.
but more importantly, there's only 1 ball left.
And do you think it's 4 or 5 needed?
It would be nice to know, wouldn't it?
It's very important, really, because it's on our screen in front of us. It's 4 to win. On the very illuminated scoreboard to our left, it's 5 to win. And if it's 5 to win, it's got to quite clearly it's got to be a 6.
Good catch by Paddy Gooch. Well, but a 4 is a tie, and I don't know whether we have a super over. I honestly do not know. I probably should have read the regulations. I know that the umpires will know, because Richard Vayard, who I know extremely well, is a very, very competent umpire, and that will be the discussion that's going on now.
Yeah.
Now, for some reason, well, here we are. This gives it away. Paddy Gooch, the wicket keeper, has gone. Paddy Gooch, the wicket-keeper, has taken his pads off, taken his gloves off. There is no actual wicket-keeper.
This to avoid an edge along the ground to what used to be called a long stop. That is what that's where he is.
I haven't actually seen this happen before, and what you don't want now is to be Paddy Gooch and the ball to go through your legs because you haven't got any pads on.
Yeah.
But let's assume that's not going to happen. So,
A position not seen since I was playing in the 19th century, Ward. Long
The
stop.
consensus of opinion looking at the field is that both teams think that it needs to be certainly a boundary anyway. But well, this is tense. A hat-trick ball. Oh my goodness.
Hold it.
And would you believe it? Somehow, in spite of Matthew Stokes' quite brilliant 67 of 48 balls, and in spite of the fact that we all know that he would have won that game without a shadow of a doubt had he managed to get back on strike, some brilliant captaincy by Charles Persard and some great fielding by the Guernsey Jersey side has somehow managed to deprive Matthew Stokes of the strike, and somehow managed to deprive Guernsey of a win, which, to be honest with you, it looked almost certain they were going to get throughout the whole of that innings. I mean, that's quite a breathtaking game of cricket, William.
It is, and what a performance by Charles Chuggy Persard. I mean, to score the runs which made a competitive total, to get 3 for 15 off 4 overs, to hold his nerve in the last over, to captain, I thought, really astutely, calmly. What a performance. I doubt that there'll be any discussion about man of the match, but what a super game of cricket, Ward.
Incredible game of cricket, and I do genuinely feel sorry for the Guernsey team, and particularly you-know-who, because that was a massive innings and he deserved to win the game for his side in so many ways. But outthought generally by Chuggy Persard. Quite magnificent performance. Absolutely stunning cricket match. How on earth did Chuggy Persard manufacture that? Incredible. Privileged to be here.
And Ward, thanks for asking me to join you for a few overs here. You've done a great stint the last 3 matches, and I'm sure this one will stick long in the memory. This last finale.
It'll certainly be going in my diary first thing tomorrow morning as one of the most incredible games of cricket Remarkable. Absolutely, just words fail you, don't they, really? Great day. Great day, and well played. Everybody on show today. I mean, Matt Stokes, can't possibly praise him highly enough for that superb innings, and almost a travesty that didn't win the game.
Can't help
anyway,
it.
Thank you very much.
Can't help but thinking, get back to that 1999 semi-final when South Africa lost to Australia. All over South Africa's game until the 20th over, and then out of the blue, Australia win. I feel Jersey somewhat were Australia in this respect, but good game of cricket and well played, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.